Just when it seemed the narrative around Kanye West and Bianca Censori had settled into a predictable rhythm, a new, far more volatile picture has emerged. One that suggests their marriage was on the absolute brink of collapse before a drastic intervention changed everything. We aren't just looking at celebrity gossip. We are uncovering a timeline where Censori was reportedly looking for an exit strategy from what she described as an unhappy union, right before the story shifted from potential divorce papers to a rehabilitation facility in Switzerland. This isn't just about a relationship. It's about the breaking point of a marriage, a sudden relocation for medical treatment, and a new claim regarding neurological damage that dates back 2 decades. What actually happened in the weeks leading up to this shift, and is the cycle finally breaking? To understand the gravity of the current situation, we have to look at what was happening just prior to West's recent departure to Europe. While the cameras captured a united front, sources close to the couple have indicated that the marriage was under immense strain. Reports suggest that Censori had been attempting to leave the relationship for quite some time, citing a deep unhappiness within the marriage. The narrative unfolding now is not one of a sudden fight, but of a partner reaching their limit. The internal dynamic was described as a vicious cycle that had trapped the couple for years. Periods of intense volatility followed by moments of clarity. This pattern reportedly left Censori exhausted and seeking a way out. However, just as these plans were potentially becoming reality, the narrative shifted from a marital split to a medical intervention. The turning point appears to have been a recognition, by both West and Censori, that the behavior being exhibited wasn't just personality or artistic expression, but something chemically and medically driven. West has since confirmed that he checked into a rehabilitation facility in Switzerland. This wasn't a standard celebrity retreat. It was described as a stabilizing course correction. In recent communications, the musician opened up about a deep depressive episode that he claims was triggered by a specific antipsychotic medication. He noted that during the shift in his regimen, his mental state plummeted, leading to the crisis that ultimately saved the marriage from immediate dissolution. It was reportedly Censori who recognized the severity of this depressive state, leading them to seek help abroad. This intervention seems to be the only thing that paused her reported decision to leave.
But the revelations didn't stop at the rehab stay. In a move that surprised industry analysts, a comprehensive public apology and explanation was released, paid for by the Yeezy brand. This wasn't a social media caption. It was a full-page statement in a major financial newspaper, signaling a desire to be taken seriously by the business world. Within this statement, a new piece of the puzzle was introduced: the long-term effects of his infamous 2002 car accident. For over 2 decades, that accident has been part of his lore, but the new claim is that it caused injury to the right frontal lobe of his brain, damage that he asserts went medically unnoticed until 2023. The implications of this claim are significant. By pointing to interior neurological damage, the narrative shifts from purely behavioral choices to medical oversight. The statement explicitly links this alleged brain injury to a diagnosis of bipolar type 1 disorder, while stating clearly that this medical history does not excuse his past actions. He expressed deep mortification and guilt. Those close to the situation describe a man who, when reaching a stable place, becomes acutely aware of the destruction he has caused to his family, his friends, and his career. This awareness reportedly brings intense guilt and regret, which ironically makes it harder for him to stay emotionally healthy, triggering the cycle all over again. This cycle is the key to understanding the current state of the marriage. Insiders describe a pattern where instability leads to drama and lashing out, which has lasting consequences. When the fog lifts and stability returns, the weight of those consequences, the lost partnerships and public condemnation, creates a heavy emotional burden. It is in this phase of clarity that he is reportedly currently residing. Longtime associates and management have gone on record to say he is in a great place and taking real accountability for the first time in a long time. They emphasize that sanity is a thin line, and that the effort to stay on the right side of that line is now the priority. However, the question remains, is this enough to salvage the marriage and the reputation? The damage done in the last few years was catastrophic, with major corporate partnerships dissolved and lawsuits pending. The public apologies address the specific communities harmed by his rhetoric, but rebuilding trust is a far longer process than destroying it. For Bianca Censori, the decision to stay seems contingent on this stabilizing course correction in Switzerland actually working. The fact that she was reportedly ready to walk away suggests that her patience had run out, and her presence now is likely conditional on strict adherence to this new path of treatment.
We are looking at a pivotal moment in one of pop culture's most scrutinized lives. The combination of a reported near divorce, a relocation for medical treatment, and a new theory regarding traumatic brain injury creates a scenario where the stakes have never been higher. The vicious cycle, described by insiders, has destroyed billionaires and careers before. If the intervention in Switzerland and the diagnosis of frontal lobe damage are indeed the missing keys to stabilization, this could be the start of a redemption arc. If they are merely another phase in the cycle, the outcome, both for the marriage and the individual, could be final. The transition from unhappy and leaving to supportive and rehabilitating is fragile. Whether this new clarity is a permanent state or a fleeting moment remains the defining question of this entire saga.